Hello and welcome to the energy type series. Today we're going to be diving into the projector energy type. And I am a projector. I'm a human design teacher and I have taught over 200 students inside of my advanced human design certification. And I have done over 1,000 readings. And over my time, I have come to truly understand the projector energy type, not only from my own experience, but also how I have seen it through hundreds of other projectors. So if you found yourself here, I want to welcome you and just remind you that you are a really powerful light in this world. The projectors are the energy that uplifts, that empowers, that brings truths, that brings new perspectives. And we need projectors to come out of hiding into the forefront with what they think, what they see, where they think that we should move forward, because the projector has insights and perspectives that people may miss. You know, a projector can see things that others don't see. They can see how efficiencies can be made. They can see how things can be improved. And for a lot of the time, projectors can feel really misunderstood or feel confused by the way that we currently live and the way we currently work and operate. I remember when I used to work in a law firm, I used to be so confused, or just it didn't make sense to me how we were working. I was like, why do we have to be here from 9 till 5 when really it was 7 till 7 and force this like productivity that doesn't work and operating this really antiquated way? I want to just come in, do my work and leave. Like, the thing about a projector, they're super efficient when you're on. And I often think that you can do 8 hours of work in 2 hours, but that doesn't mean you should do 24 hours of work in 8 hours. A lot of projectors are overachievers, trying to do more, be more, create more, prove more. And what ends up happening is that they burn themselves out. Most projectors have had an experience of severe burnout. I myself have. I ended up in hospital at one point. And also, it took a period where I needed to really recover from burnout. But I also needed to ask myself, where had I, for my whole life, tried to overachieve and to do more and prove more? And this is a big wake up call for a projector, because it's a waste of your energy. You're here to give your insight. You're here to lead. You're here to get people thinking differently. You're here to bring different perspectives. It's all about your thoughts, your advice, your guidance. And so many projectors are like busying themselves and trying to keep up with the rest of the world and, work long hours, do more. And it's a misdirection of their energy. You have what's known as an undefined sacral in your human design, which means you have inconsistent way that your energy works. Sometimes you can be really on energetic, and especially if you're a female, you're also going to have your female cycles that will bring into play here. And also, when you're in your rest cycle, when you take a moment and you step away, you receive more insights, more guidance, and you're able to be more present in your life. And so if a projector is running around being busy all the time, you're not receiving that divine intelligence that you're actually here for. So the projector needs to realize what their value actually is. It's not so much in trying to keep busy and do more. It's in the inside and the knowledge and the wisdom and the advice that they give, because from that, they're going to be making most of their difference. From that, that's their soulful, true self-success. That's going to feel most fulfilling, because that's what a projector likes to do. A projector is very much about the other. A projector really cares. A projector has so much love to give and so much wisdom to give. There's so much wisdom inside the projector, because that is what they're here for. So projector, today we're going to explore all different parts of your energy type. And I just want to remind you that this is how you best operate in the world. This is where you receive more and you give more in a sustainable way, rather than, as I said, burning yourself out or going down different paths or directions that are not for you. So there are 3 different types of a projector. You are either an energy projector, a classic projector, or a mental projector. And that's just going to be dependent on which energy centers you have defined. If you have a motor center defined, that will mean that you are an energy projector. You might have a little bit more energy than expected. Then you have the classic projector, which is meaning that you have maybe the spleen or the identity center defined, but you don't have a motor center. Or you are going to be a mental projector, which means you just have the throat upwards. So it's just a categorization, but it can help give you more information. I'll put a link below where I describe more about this on my blog. Okay, so the most important pieces when it comes to an energy type is the number one strategy, like how you best give and receive energy. Because remember, this is an energetic world. And when you can move in a way that's aligned with you, you'll create more flow, more ease, more success, rather than feeling like you're swimming upstream and going against all the resistance. You have to remember that the resistance happens in our life because the universe is trying to redirect you into your aligned path. So less frustration, less bitterness, less anger, less push and shove and force your way through life. Let's move through life. Let's flow with life. Going up against life with sheer brunt force is not the type of experience I want to have here. You're also going to have your not self, which is going to be an indicator from your body when you're out of alignment. So it's just your beautiful body letting you know, hey, not like this, not right now, not in this way, not here. You're also going to have your true self signature, which is your clue and your sign when you are on track, in alignment, moving, all systems go. So, projector, you are one of the rarer energy types. It's only about 20% of the population. And as I said, you are the guides, the natural life coaches, the advisors, the specialists, the people that are here to bring knowledge, perspective, wisdom. And this is what comes natural to you. Often projectors are the go-to person for their friends and family. And something that came through for me for a few years ago is I realized that a projector is like the light of a lot of people, is the light that brings people up. It's the light of the family. They do carry a lot, a projector. As I said, you really care about other people and you see the potential in other people. It's important, though, to focus also on yourself, on what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled, and what nourishes you. So projectors have the ability to see so deeply into another and deeply into systems, processes, and create efficiencies. So we want to be creating work and lives and relationships that flourish and up-level this energy. So the life purpose of a projector is to guide others. Projectors innately know how to make the most of any situation, any business, any person. They see the full potential, and then they also know how to guide us forward to that space, that vision, that knowing. The divine intelligence that you're tapped into as a projector is your gift. It is something to take seriously. It is your point of difference. And every projector is going to have something that they see clearly. For example, for me, I was always seeing things in a higher perspective, an empowered way. I could see deeply into another person of what was holding them back, of what the fear was, what the doubt was. I was able to flip it, reframe it, and then create an empowered perspective that would inspire them to move forward. And now that's what I do for a living. Human design always felt so natural and easy for me. Even though it's such a complicated system, I got it right away. So when you're connected to the right people, projector, you have plenty of energy to guide them. It's like it activates and opens up your wisdom because so much is based on the people that you're around and whether they see you, whether they value you, because it almost opens your channel to give to them. So if you're in a place or around people that don't see and value you, that can feel really challenging as a projector. And I just invite you to start moving towards and trusting your intuition and authority and move to the places where you feel a resonance, where you feel equal with people. Because sometimes as well, a projector can just feel like people aren't getting it. And it's not that they're wrong or you're wrong. It's just it might not be the right spaces for you. So projector, your aura is powerful and penetrative. You can see and go so deep. A projector only wants to go deep. A projector does not want to stay surface level. That would be so boring for a projector. And so another person can really feel you getting them. There's nothing like being seen by a projector. And it's also really great if you're a projector to have friends that are projectors as well, because you're both understanding each other and you both really listen to each other. You both see and get each other, because it's just a whole different level of a projector of how deeply you can see. And you often want to receive what you give, because your gift is the ability to recognize someone, to see their soul, to see their energy, to know their truth. And then you're able to guide them forward. So your brain is always wired for improvements and bettering and potentiality. What can be hard, though, is if people don't see their own potential. So it really is, again, important that you are saving and conserving your energy for people that are ready to receive what you have to give. And the most important thing as a projector is to follow your curiosities. Follow where you feel called, follow where you feel intrigued, follow when you want to learn something. Like a projector just wants to learn, wants to, especially around human behavior and how we all operate. So I really recommend projectors to follow your curiosities and to follow what you want to become an expert in, because that's what you're here for. You're here to be an expert and you're here to be a teacher in a very specialized area. So don't be afraid to really go down all the rabbit holes and to gain life experience in certain areas, because your wisdom, your knowledge is exactly what people need. It's what this world needs. And like, we find it fun. So the thing that you could do in your sleep, or the thing that you could talk about all day long, is what you're here for. It's what you're here to give your perspective on. It's not random. It's not by accident. And that will provide so much value, more than if you forced something that didn't feel natural or didn't interest you. And you have something you see clearly. The key is to just get clear. And sometimes we can devalue it. For example, how I just said, like, I had that power to empower and to get people thinking differently. I've done that my whole life, but I didn't realize that I could make a job out of it. And here we are. So in order for people to recognize you, you first need to recognize yourself. If you put yourself down, if you are incredibly harsh, like I see so many projectors, they're such perfectionists, such as I said, overachievers, that nothing is ever enough. And also because they have this ability to see improvements, that gift of being able to see what needs to be changed and, what's wrong and how it can be made more right. We don't want to be turning that energy inward and just constantly be picking yourself apart and always looking for something that's wrong, because your mind is smart, projector. If you are looking for something that could be wrong, you'll find it. Your mind is very obedient. All of our minds are very obedient. So if you give it a task, it will go above and beyond to complete that task. So focus on what you're good at. Focus on what's going right. Focus on infinite potentiality in this universe, and then move step by step towards that and create your version of a soulful, successful life. So many projectors are very inspired by success, and that's because that's what you're here for. But it needs to feel like a fulfilling success, a soulful success, what your true self feels successful in. And a lot of the time, a projector just wants a peaceful, a spacious, a fulfilling life. And that's often not found in the 9-to-5 soul-sucking job. So once you recognize your worth, you no longer feel like you have to prove yourself. You no longer feel like you have to bark up the wrong trees and just be like, see me, value me. When you have a stable sense of self-worth and knowing that what you give and your perspectives and just your energy just naturally uplifts people. I see it time and time again. The projector just uplifts people wherever they go, even on an energetic level, even if you don't realize it yet. So take the pressure off. Stop trying so hard. Projector, if you can take one thing away from this, stop trying so hard. The universe wants to provide for you. All you need to do is follow your curiosities and share openly and generously, not from a place of proving yourself or trying to sound smart. It's from a place of just abundant overflow, of life force giving. So here I have a quote from the creator of human design called Ra Uru Hu. So I'm going to read this out loud because I just feel like it's a really beautiful example of the projector. Projectors have a general openness to life, combined with an aura that penetrates the energy of others so they can absorb it and energetically taste it. With their capacity to see the big picture, recognize the talents and gifts of others, and bring people together, they make exceptional advisors, administrators, networkers, and natural mediators. Projectors can be gifted organizers and masters at understanding how to maximize energy and resources as they see things that others often miss. Just because projectors can see how a person's energy is best utilized, however, does not mean that they can tell other people what to do. A specific part of their role and purpose here on this earth is to guide others by knowing how to ask the right questions. Projectors have a natural gift of diplomacy that is wise to nature. So I love that quote because obviously it's speaking about the role here as a projector, but also that the power of asking the right questions. As a coach, if you're a coach or if you're in an advisory role or if you're in a therapeutic role, which again, a lot of projectors are, especially in this space, Asking the right questions is so powerful, allowing people to get to their own clarity. And you have the ability of seeing it. Like when I'm talking to a client, I can see what needs to be changed, what is going to help liberate them. But I want them to get there. I want them to create their own answer. So I will ask them those questions and it will guide them there. And that is always the most powerful way to create a breakthrough and to create transformations in people's lives. The projector has a gift of creating a safe space that makes transformation inevitable. So the true gift of the projector is your presence. Your presence and being present in your life or with another or in a system or in a project or in an organization, everything, that presence creates those transformations I'm talking about, creates those big realizations, create those improvements, efficiencies. Your gifts as a projector, they come through when you're present. They don't come through when you're like forcing information in. I need more knowledge. I need more knowledge. And then I'm going to like share from my dot point plan and all these things. No, when you are present with another, when you are truly seeing or you're truly present in whatever you're doing, all the divine intelligence, all the natural gifts, all the insight, all the perspectives, everything will flow from that place. It's natural to you. You are just an antenna for it, projector. So this is why it's so important for you to be well rested, projector. Let's go into the projector energy. So you have an undefined sacral center, which means you need more rest. You need time to yourself. And what we know is that when you're in the space, when you create space in your life and when you are nourishing your body, when you're in nature, when you are napping, when you are meditating, all of these things, you are connecting to wisdom. You are connecting to divine intelligence. You are connecting to the ideas and the perspectives that you are here to bring. It happens in the space. It doesn't happen when we're running around being busy and trying to prove ourselves. That will burn a projector out. There are so many burnt out projectors in our world. You know, I ended up in hospital at one point. Every single projector client that I have ever worked with at one point in their past had an experience of burnout. Because as I said, the projector is so fueled for success and it is so much about the other that they end up being run on like external validation. And that means they're always trying to overgive and overwork and do more, because if you do more, then you're more worthy. And this is what we're deconditioning as a projector. And so this is the not self of the undefined sacral. And what you're here to do is to totally transform this idea that you have to self-sacrifice in order to be successful. You can do less and achieve more. And rest is one of the most important parts of your process. In the rest, in the time with yourself, you download ideas, you download wisdom. It means that you can be present when you are on. So for example, if I know that I'm running a retreat or if I'm recording podcasts or if I'm teaching inside of my certification space, I won't plan anything else that day. I will make sure that I have a spacious morning. If I'm running a retreat, I'm taking the whole week off before and after it. So you start to understand how your energy works. And so yes, you have still lots of life force energy. And I really want to bust this myth that projectors don't have energy. Absolutely not. You have energy as a projector and powerful life force energy. Projectors are so passionate. I really think it's the not self of the projector when they're always saying how tired they are. Rest, rest, rest so that when you are moving through life, you can be deeply present and lit up. It's not just the generators and the manifesting generators that are meant to have lit up abundant energy. You too, as a projector, do as well. It's just that you need to understand that your process requires time off for yourself, because that's when you're gaining the wisdom and the insight, the divine intelligence that you are here to share. That happens in the space. So it's not that you just don't have energy. It's just that you need to come back inward and create the space to be so that you then can share and give and serve in a really meaningful way. We're releasing this idea that you have to be 24/7 on or burn yourself out in order to be successful. And you have to remember how much energy it takes to be really present with someone, how much energy it takes to uplift, how much energy it takes to, give advice and hold people and support people. So that's also why you do need that rest, and you're doing it all the time. You're doing it all the time. Your energetic aura is holding people and supporting people. So you really do need to prioritize that. Projector, it's not beneficial for you to be burnt out or bitter and resentful because you're overgiving and overworking. The ego thinks that's what you need to do, but that's not your true self. So projectors need to be mindful when enough is enough. You can become an energy bunny. That's the thing with a projector. It can be energy bunny. You can be riding off lots of people's. Maybe you have some lit up generators around you, or you're riding off people's energy. And then you end up later that day crashing. And so you need to have a really strong connection with your body, projector. Sometimes you can just overrun it, especially if you have a defined heart like me, and you can just keep going and then you pay for it later. So again, it's not anything to be scared of. I see so many projectors that are afraid of being burnt out. No, trust yourself, connect with your body. You know different now. You know different now, projector. You can start taking the cues and sensations from your body when you need to rest without any guilt. It means that you can show up more purposefully and more meaningfully in the world. And you're also doing it for the rest of the population, the rest of the collective. You're showing us that we can give to ourselves, that we can slow down and we can create these beautiful lives without self-sacrificing all the time. So that's the funny other misconception about a projector is that people, yeah, think that they have, as I said, no energy. But sometimes you can be these like super generators and get so much done. But be mindful. Is it something that you genuinely actually care about? Check your energy behind it. Is it something that you care about, you find meaningful, or are you doing it to prove yourself? And then also be mindful where you're no longer listening to your body and you need to actually start to slow down, be more intentional. And this is where you work smarter, not harder. Have support. You're not designed to work the same way as most people. This is it. It's, as I said, you're very efficient. You can do 8 hours of work in 3 hours. Doesn't mean you should do 24 hours of work in 8. So when you're on and let it flow, let it go. Don't just force yourself when it's not on. You know, some people just force themselves, sit at the laptop and be like, okay, well, it's 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. I have to work like this. And it's, do you? Or can you wait and do the things that really nourish you and then come back when the energy is hot, when you've got that entire divine intelligence? If you're working in a corporate environment, that can obviously be really challenging. How I did when I was working there. Yeah, when it was on, I could get so much work done. And then in the off times, I was researching the things I cared about. I was building this business that I now run. I would go for a walk and listen to a podcast. Like I really got attuned to how my energy was. And when I was on, got lots done. When I was off, I nourished, recentered, and learned. Like projectors, as I said, we love to learn. It's also essential at the end of the day to release your energy. And, you can pick up so much energy throughout your day. So have a shower, release it, visualize all of the energy flowing from your body so that you can then have a restful sleep. A lot of projectors really need to wind down at the end of the day, especially if you've got a lot of energy happening around you. It can be hard to just fall straight to sleep after. I recommend putting your legs up against the wall so you can start having that lymphatic drainage moving. I find that as well, projectors, we can have quite a slow lymphatic drainage and, slow movements in the body. So do what you need. It's important to prioritize your self-care. Your way of moving and operating and creating the world is deeply intentional. Don't be caught up with all this hustle mentality. Don't be caught up with always having to be consistent every day. That's not your way, and that's actually going to repel people. It's really beautiful as a projector to be somewhat mysterious, to somewhat play hard to get, because remember, you're a high value individual projector. People want advice and expertise from high value people. And so if you honor that and know that you got nothing to prove, you don't need to run around and grovel and make sure that people see that how much you're doing and how much value you are. No, be in your worth. I love to channel like the queen energy of like, how would she operate? I wouldn't need to try and convince people. I wouldn't need to prove myself in any way. I'm good. I'm here. I know how much value I have. And when the people are ready, they will come. So it's important not to think that you are lazy, projector. As I said, like this is part of your process. And also that's your conditioned view. That's a conditioned story. This is like conditioning from the Industrial Revolution of you need to be working X amount of hours and be in the assembly line and do your part. No, this is what we're transcending, and you're breaking this down for the collective. And it means that you can be more, as I said, meaningful and intentional life when you are well rested and present. So, projector, your strategy is wait for the invitation. And I see that this gets so many misconceptions around this. What this is basically saying, it's so important for you to give your energy to places and people and projects that see you, that value you, because then you're going to be able to share the expertise and the wisdom and the knowledge and the improvements that you're here for. So when you are waiting for the invite, it's ensuring that the people that are receiving your knowledge, your perspectives, your advice, that they're actually listening, that they're actually implementing, because you see so deeply, as we said. So you know what would help, what would change, what would grow, but people aren't always ready to receive it. And it's also not a projector's role to interfere on other people's processes when they didn't ask for it. So when it involves another person, a projector needs an invite in order to share your thoughts, share your expertise, share what you think. Because then this sets up the right energy exchange where the projector is able to see really clearly. I always think if there's no invitation there, the energy is not open. So a projector can't even see as clear as they could. And as well, it ensures that the other person can receive what the projector is seeing. So if you don't have an invite, it's almost like you throw a ball up against the wall and it just hits you back in the face. And you can also, if you're a projector here, you understand. It almost feels like lights out, no one's home. You can feel that they're not receiving it. And then that can help make you feel like really shitty and really taken advantage of. Because if you speak or give your guidance without an invitation, it just won't land. It honestly feels icky as a projector, and you can feel like there's a tense energy because that person didn't ask to be so penetrated. And at the end of the day, it just wastes your energy. You feel drained from energy because it wasn't a fair energy exchange. So projector, it's all about conserving your energy for the right invitations. It's conserving your energy and giving your expertise and advice to people and places that are going to listen and will receive it and act with it and implement it, because then both people benefit. You feel seen, recognized, and in your true self energy of success. And then they have just received the improvement in the ideas or the perspectives that will up level whatever they're doing or up level themselves. So invites are only needed. This is the thing it's very important. Invites are only needed if you are using your gifts, your insight gifts, about someone to them. So you just need an invite when it's about them to them. Or if someone is engaging you to work with them, or as well, even in relationships, it's not that someone has to, give you a golden invite and say, I'm inviting you in to be in a relationship with me. No, it's just ensuring that person sees and values you, that gets you, that you feel recognized, that they see the true self in you. Because if not, it will never feel like an equal energy exchange. So we need to be attuned to the invites. As I said, it's not always going to be obvious invites, but when you feel an opening, when you feel an energetic opening, and, sometimes it takes a bit of practice. Sometimes you might be like, I thought there was an opening there, but there actually wasn't. Good, great learnings. Thing is, if you notice yourself getting bitter, just self-reflect rather than get angry at them. They didn't ask for it. So projectors do not need an invite to follow their bliss, to start their business, to start a podcast, to move cities, to do anything that they want to do. Please ignore any idea that you have to wait, sitting on your couch waiting for life to invite you. Life is constantly inviting you with ideas, with curiosities, with desires, with divine intelligence moving through you. So follow that, but always follow your personal bliss and what you want to create here. Follow your prana, follow your life force. That is potent as a projector. And also follow the talents or the natural skills, or as I said, the things that you want to learn about, because you're here to give deep knowledge and you're here to be an expert in that thing. So in order to be invited, you do need to be seen as a master in something. You do need to be seen as wise in something. You do need to be seen as someone that has a valuable take or perspective. So it is important for a projector to be seen in that. It is important for a projector to recognize that they have something to give. So many projectors discount it or feel like they don't know enough. And so they keep themselves hidden and they stay on the sidelines. No, be in the middle of the collective. Share what you know. Speak to yourself and recognize yourself as an expert on whatever your thing is. My business grew so much when I owned my human design knowledge and I shared it and I shared my unique take on it. I shared my empowered method. And from there, you start to receive recognition. So when you have recognition or reputation in something, then you receive all the invites. But we do need to, I guess, be working first towards creating the reputation. So once you've created the reputation and recognition, which just happens when you just naturally share and give your takes and your expertise and your beautiful presence and your beautiful energy, when you're well rested, of course, that reputation, once that's created, you will just always have invites. So I just want to normalize at the start when you're building that reputation. You may not feel like the invites are coming right away. Stay true, stay on your path. They will come and they'll come in bucket loads. And then you'll have to start to decide whether it's actually a yes, that invitation. And this is important. Just because you get an invite doesn't mean you have to say yes. You always want to tune into your intuition, into whether you have splenic, emotional, mental, it's self-projected. It's about understanding what is the right invitation for you. And your body's going to always tell you when it feels expansive, you feel excited, you feel seen and recognized. That's very important as a projector. And you feel like there's value here. You feel like there's a growth opportunity there. And you're also receiving money for it. So many projectors desire and want to be seen, want to be recognized, but they're so afraid of it, so afraid of being seen. So take small steps. Start slowly and surely creating safety in your nervous system that it is safe to be seen. A lot of projectors fear being misunderstood, fear being ridiculed, fear being pulled down. It's almost like this witch wound energy. And it's just creating, as you move forward, safety and I can be seen, that my voice is needed here, that I don't have to be perfect in this all, and that this can feel natural. And you can still be private. You can still, as I said, a projector that's slightly mysterious or very mysterious is very alluring and very enticing. So let's break it down. Steps for an invite. Number one, recognition. Wait for recognition. But firstly, you need to recognize yourself, recognize what you give, your value, your perspective, all that you've learned in this lifetime, whether it's through life experience or through study, and invest in that. Invest in mastering your craft, in what you see, in your curiosities. Learn, develop your teachings. How do you see it? This is like your life skill. So invest in it. It's fun as well. Hone into your craft. And it's going to be what feels most natural and exciting for you. Then number two, make yourself visible. Again, not in a way that you're trying to prove yourself or grovel or see me, value me. No, you're just overflowing with wisdom. You're overflowing with energy. I share abundantly. And this is where you don't need an invite to like share on Instagram or share on a podcast or share openly. You need an invite when it's to someone about them, about their life. But when you're just sharing openly to the world, no invite needed. Be from overflow and abundance. Again, not from a place that burns you out or that you have to overwork or overgive. You have infinite amount of wisdom and perspectives to share. And when you share from that place, wait for the invites to start coming because they see like, she has something that's going to help me. She has something that I can better my life. She has something that is going to help my business. And then the invites come. And if you have a projector child, the one bit of advice I can give you is just be present with them. Be so present with a projector. They just want your presence to see them. A projector can sense in a second when you're not present with them. So I know it's hard. It's not 24/7, but just when you can be present with them and also ask them lots of questions. Ask them what they think. Get curious with them because they are incredibly wise, but they also need to get comfortable that the invites will come. If you grow up never getting asked a question or never being invited in, a lot of the time the projector child can become really bossy or become a know-it-all because it's like, I need to tell everyone everything because no one's seeing me or hearing from me or asking me. So let them like be in a place of calm that invites do come, people do care, and they don't need to like grovel and try and prove themselves because the invite will always be there. As well, encourage them to rest, slow down, that they don't have to keep up all the time and to always be in connection with their body, because to have that from a young age and to be connected with your intuition and to be connected with divine intelligence from a young age. The thing is, you are connected from it at a young age, but we lose connection from it because we don't realize it's important or we have that conditioned out of us. So when you help them stay rooted into what they know, their intuition, that will benefit them for the rest of their lives. So here's another quote from Ra Uruhu. Personal success for projectors is dependent on having energetically healthy people around them who acknowledge their projector skills and offer them their energy resources to work with. When not self projectors, eager for recognition of any kind, try to meet the expectations of others and thus are recognized instead of who they are not, they can get confused and attach themselves to anyone, even someone who is detrimental to them. Healthy projectors are those who avoid this trap by recognizing themselves and understanding their own self. When they are no longer dependent on external sources for affirmation of any kind, the true projector gift of recognition is returned to its rightful and properly functioning place in their strategy. The most basic and essential function of recognition for projectors relates to choosing people to be in their inner circle, people who will keep them aligned with their own path and purpose, because projectors are designed to penetrate others' centers so deeply. And because they cannot fulfill their purpose without access to the energy and resources of other people, projectors need to know who is right for them, who recognizes or sees them for who they truly are. When projectors are truly recognized, they feel it in their core and there is no doubt. So as an example, I feel so recognized and seen in the work I did now. When I was in a law firm, I didn't because it was just not the right place for me. So you need to surround yourself in roles and in jobs and in relationships that feel true for you and you can be yourself in, and also be around those people that see you and get you, because that's the only way a projector is going to feel good and feel in their true self expression of success, soulful success. And so you need to release any form of external validation. If you are looking or constantly striving for external validation, you're going to burn yourself out and always feel bitter. And so that's why the strategy is in place, because it's no longer about external gratification. It's all about internal recognition. What do you care about? What do you love? What do you want to study? What do you want to be a master at? What do you want to share and give your thoughts and perspectives on? Because that's what you want to do as a projector. You care. And as it said here in the Ra quote, your purpose is so much about the other and it feels so fulfilling. So do it in a way that feels good for you and lights you up. So release the pressure for external validation to always be productive. Number 1, follow your bliss. Number 2, study and become a master in what you find exciting, curious, expansive. Develop your craft and how you want to share it, what you think about it, your divine transmission of it. Then share it. Be seen as an expert and receive the invitations. This is where you're going to be in your true self energy, your signature self, which is success. So the feeling in your body is going to be a sense of success. Now, as I said, projectors always want to be successful, but the problem is you go down all the routes and all the traditional roles and then feel anything but. When I was a lawyer, I did not feel successful. Even though it looked good on paper and I did all the things and I'd studied all this stuff, I didn't feel successful in my soul, in my true self. And so this is where we release the ego and you decide what feels true and most meaningful for you. What would make your higher self proud? So it's not bad that you have a deep desire for success, but do it on your terms. What does success mean to you? And I would even invite you to reflect on that, even if you want to journal on it. What is a successful life to you? What's your version of a successful life? For me, it's spaciousness. For me, it's plenty of time in nature with friends, with family, travel. For me, it's abundance. For me, it's family. For me, it's feeling like truly myself and I'm making a difference. So it's about making your decisions that align with that rather than what looks good on paper or what your ego says you should do. I love the idea of ikigai, the Japanese word for ikigai for purpose. Do what you love, do what you're good at, do what the world needs, and do what you can get paid for. This is like the 4-pronged perfect method for the projector true self signature of success. Then we have the not self theme, which is the feeling in your body when you are off track or out of alignment. And this is this feeling of bitterness. This is where a projector feels taken advantage of, not seen, not recognized, burnt out, not appreciated. And it shows up in the body as a feeling of resentment. And it feels so icky as a projector. Me and my friend, we call it the bitter bitches if you're in your not self energy. And it can feel like you're being ignored. You can feel being dismissed and you can feel like no one's listening. And again, a projector's here to be listened to. So it means that you're in the wrong place or trying to force something that is not you, or in relationships where you are not seen and recognized. So if you're having deep fatigue and you're always burnt out, ask yourself, Again, it's coming up a lot. Am I trying to prove myself? Is this really my space? How can you come back to your true self energy of having nothing to prove, no one to make proud of, and follow your bliss, what you care about, and share from that abundant place? If you are overgiving your energy, if you're pushing too hard, if you are burning yourself out, if you are seeking validation from others, you will go into your not self theme of bitterness. And we can't blame anyone else. It's just a clue for us to start making decisions that are true and aligned for you. So this is where you tune into your intuition. Where feels most expansive for me to go? And what do I have to release? Any of the stories of needing to prove myself and the ego, releasing that, because then you are finally free. Remember, your gift is your perception, not your productivity. You see what works. You see what doesn't work. You see a totally different perspective that is missed by another. And this is your gift. This is what you're here to share. This is your value. There's so many projectors are trying to force and keep up and prove themselves and do these menial tasks or overgive and overwork. And it just leaves the projector in their not self of bitterness. So bitterness will show up when you are feeling like taken advantage of. You're feeling that people don't get it, that people don't get you, that your energy and your advice is not being listened to. And what this is an indicator for you is this may be in a place that is not correct for you. This may be a space where it's not actually where you're meant to be. So this leaves a really bad taste in the mouth of a projector. You can feel this almost resentment. And instead of blaming other people, it's always a beautiful invitation to go inward of, is this actually my space? Am I trying to force something that's not? Are they ready to hear what I have to say? It's great information to get curious with. So the deconditioning process of the projector is to work smarter, not harder. See the value in your thoughts, in your expertise, in your wisdom, in your perspectives. And you won't have them if you're burnt out and if you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off. And if you're constantly busy, you're not going to be present. And in the presence is where your true magic and wisdom comes through. So work smarter, not harder. Stop trying to validate the ego by filling up the day doing menial tasks that you don't need to do. Get clear and intentional on how you use your time and prioritize rest and time for yourself. Recognize your gift, recognize your perception, recognize that you have something really valuable to share and explore it. Become a master in it, become an expert, become a teacher. That's what you're here for. You're here to be a guide. So create a business that feels easeful from that, or create work that feels easeful from that. Don't make things harder than they need to be. And above all else, eliminate all the shoulds. Be kinder to yourself, projector. This life is open for infinite possibilities and you deserve to feel good too. Stop self-sacrificing yourself. Stop putting everyone else ahead of you. You get to be happy too. You know, a projector is running around making sure everyone else is okay. A projector is always wanting to uplift and benefit other people. But what about you, projector? Remember that you are best of service when you also give to yourself and you're also feeling good. Focus more on you rather than trying to like interfere with everyone else's process and trying to save everyone. That's not when you're most in your power. When you are coming from a self-resource, nourished, loving to self and to others place, you are more of service always. Follow your curiosities. This life is meant to be explored and you get to enjoy the ride while you do. Okay, projector, that is your energy type series. I'll also put a link below of a podcast I did on the projector. We go even deeper in there. And also, if you're wanting to explore your profile, check out our profile series. If you want to go so much deeper, definitely check out our advanced human design certification. It's a 6-month course where you will be supported, guided, held in your own evolution and become an advanced human design practitioner. Because let's face it, this world needs more information like this so we can decondition and release all the shoulds and all the ways that are keeping us hostage from our true self-expression so you can connect with your divine way of moving and operating in the world and create your version of heaven on earth and then guide and help other people to do the same. Because there is no cookie cutter approach. Every single person is so unique. And what I love it for a projector especially is that it will mean that you have a system and a modality, because it's really great as a projector to have a system or a modality that you can be seen as an expert in. It gives you even more information to be able to guide. Thank you so much for listening. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, Projector.